So today I just want to have a little quick discussion about something that's come up a couple of times on the lesson tee this week, and partly due to that phenomenal performance by Collin Morikawa at the weekend of the British Open, just discussing for right-handed players how this left wrist is going to look at the top of the swing. Suddenly we've got driving ranges full of people trying to do this with a left wrist at the top of the swing. Now, this is going to help some, it's going to hurt some. So what we need to understand is this left wrist condition at the top of the backswing has got to be linked up with the way you're actually holding the golf club. So if we use Morikawa as an example, his left hand tends to sit on the handle of the club in what we would term as a relatively weakish type of position. That left hand is turned a hair more to the left. So at the top of the swing, this is a great matchup when this left wrist starts to look in flexion or is bowed out, because you can see that gets the club face in really quite a neutral looking position to slightly strong. We can see that because the leading edge of that club is really matching up with the top of his left forearm. If with that same grip type, a slightly weakish left hand, but then at the top of the swing the left wrist suddenly had a ton of bend in it, well, you can see how that massively affects this club face condition. Now the face is wide open. That's simply not a good matchup. So if you're a player who, like myself, tends to hold the club in somewhat of a strongish condition, maybe showing 2.5, 3 knuckles on the back of that left hand, if for me, suddenly at the top of the swing, I started to flatten out or put this left wrist in flexion, you can now see what's happened to my club face. That club face, the leading edge of the club, no longer matches up with the front of my left arm. Now I'm playing with a really closed face. It's going to result in hooks, or then to counter that, I'm going to hit some push shots. So just remember, if you've got a grip type whereby you've got a little bend in that left wrist in the beginning, still having a little bend in that left wrist at the top of the backswing isn't the end of the world. It's relative to how that club face is going to look, and in particular the leading edge of the club in relation to that left arm. So just be careful if you're trying to add a ton of this flexion in that left wrist, you're not affecting how that club face looks.